Hi, my name is Rebecca Guillen, and I am going to be teaching you about 3D shapes today. A shape is considered to be three-dimensional because it possesses three specific dimensions: length, width, and depth. Unlike a flat or 2D shape that can only be measured on a flat surface, a 3D shape or shapes are solid figures that occupy space and have volume. So how are the following 3D shapes defined? A prism, which can be rectangular, hexagonal, or triangular, has a three-dimensional solid with two identical and parallel polygon bases. So you can see this top base here is identical to the bottom base. And it also has parallelogram shaped faces. Here's the face, and each of these rectangular faces are connected. Prisms are named based on the shape of their bases. So not the face of the shape here, this rectangle, but the base of the shape is where they get their name. A pyramid is a three-dimensional shape with a polygonal base and a triangular face that meet at a singular point, which is called the apex. You can see this point where those triangles come together. This first image is a triangular pyramid because the base is that of a triangle. If you were to flip this shape upside down, you would see a triangle. Whereas here, the base, if I were to draw the little lines, oh, it's too wide. If you were to flip that over, you would see that the base of the pyramid is in the shape of a square. Same thing goes here with the pentagonal pyramid and the hexagonal pyramid. So their name is given according to the shape of the base of the shape. Now a sphere is a perfectly round, three-dimensional object where every point on its surface is the same distance from its center. So right here is the center of the sphere, and if I were to draw a line from the top to the center, it would be the exact same distance as if I started here from the side, or if I were to start from the bottom of the sphere. So the distance between any of these lines to the center is exactly the same. A cylinder is also a three-dimensional solid that has two identical circular bases. Right here you see the circular base of the top, the circular base of the bottom, and those two are exactly the same, and there's one single curved surface connecting them. A cone is also a three-dimensional geometric shape that has one flat circular base, and its curved surface tapers in and comes to the single point, this apex here at the top. Now a cone is one of my favorite examples of a three-dimensional shape for my students because they're young and they know that they have eaten an ice cream cone and have worn a cone on their head at a birthday party, so they really identify to this shape. And it's a good example of a three-dimensional shape because, of course, it has length, width, and height. And what I like to tell my students is it's kind of like a triangle. Not my best triangle. That spins around at its base. And it starts wide, and like we said, it comes together at the top at this apex. But if they had this triangle and they were to spin it around, it's a cone. Now, the difference between a right pyramid and an oblique pyramid is this. A right pyramid has the apex, this point right up here at the top, that's directly over the center of the base. So right here is the base, which is a square, and the center is right here. This apex, this point here, is directly above the center. Now, that alignment creates a symmetrical shape, whereas the oblique pyramid has the apex anywhere else, but never directly above the center of the base. So this line connecting the apex to the center is at an angle. So it looks kind of like, if I just follow that line down, it's slanted or tilted in its appearance. All right, I hope you learned something exciting about three-dimensional shapes. See you next time.